Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bobo Foot Gaming. And what I wanted to do for this video was to do a account review of my own account and what I'm looking at doing with my account in early to mid 2022. So let's take a look at how I'm going to go about that. The next big toon that I'm going to be unlocking on my account is obviously going to be Boba, Scion of Jango, and that's going to be from Conquest in just over a week's time. He looks like he's going to have a potentially big impact on the game, especially in TW, but also he looks like he's going to be a powerful character for Grand Arena. So I need to think about not just gearing Boba and relicking Boba, but also the toons that I might need to go alongside him. Now, there's a number of options for these characters. The first and most obvious option is Fennec Shand. I currently have her at 6-star, and with the calendar and with farming 10 of her nodes per day, I should be looking to 7-star her in roughly 2 weeks' time. So not the day I unlock Boba, but should be for the TW cycle just after that. So that's pretty good timing, and I'm quite happy with that. For Grand Arena, though, I'm also looking at Kira. You may have seen my video about a Dash, Rendar lead, Kira, Boba, Veteran Han, and Lando Calrissian team. And I think that has some applications to it. I don't know if that's going to be the best team, but I am flagging Kira as a character I may want to invest in if that team looks like it's actually going to be pretty good. But there is also the potential that Boba will just sit better on a bounty hunter team, especially with the Zam Omicron. I don't have that yet, but it's something I'm looking at investing in. So it may be that I want to go into looking at the Mandalorian and Grief Karga, which I only currently have at gear 12. So these are the main toons that I'm looking at when it comes to strengthening and facilitating making Boba Scion of Jango as strong as possible. I will almost certainly relic Fennec the second she's 7-star, but I'll have to consider what I'm going to do with the other 3 toons here. The next big character that's on my wish list is Starkiller. Now, obviously he's a GA predominantly toon, maybe has some TW applications, but GA is very important, so I'm really looking at getting Starkiller as soon as possible. I already have Kyle at Relic. I've been saving crystals, so I managed to get him pretty quickly. And I also have Dash. Now it says 5-star here, but he's at 6-star, and I will get him to 7-star on Friday's weekly shipment refresh. So that's quite good for me. I'm quite happy with that. I'll get Dash to Relic straight away there. That could line up quite nicely with the Grand Arena for Boba Scion of Jango. So I'll have another couple of key toons there, which should help me out for the coming season. After that, though, I only have Mara and Talon at 3-star because I bought the $20 pack that gives you 30 shards and some crystals. So I'm really waiting for these to come into the weekly store and the shipments before I can get those going. What's likely going to happen there is I don't want to spend all of my crystals, as I am expecting Ravager to happen, is that I'll go into getting Mara Jade at 7-star because she is a much better toon than Darth Talon. Fantastic character for TW, and I have the Omicron on her, but also it allows you to change your team compositions for Grand Arena. I usually run Thrawn, as my Thrawn is faster than Mara, so I can switch to Mara and get my Palpatine team going. But being able to run Mara without Palpatine because she's naturally much faster, that's going to free up my Grand Admiral Thrawn. So I'm quite happy with that. Then, though, I need to look at what my Starkiller team going to look like. So I've got some characters earmarked for that. And I think that the team I'm gonna look at is gonna be Palpatine, Mara, Visas Mar, and Kanan, which would mean I need to take both Visas Mar and Kanan from Gear 12 to Relic. This could be a way off, as I have a number of other tunes ahead of this, either Mando Grief as a combo or Kira potentially, and gear doesn't grow on trees, as we all know, so they may be down the pecking order, and I may have to run a cheaper team like a Barriss lead, which I already have at Relic 7, maybe with Crew, and I don't know, maybe Visas at just Gear 12. I'm unsure yet, so I'll have to think once I get Starkiller where I'm going to go with this. But I would hope to unlock Starkiller by the end of February, hopefully. So that could be quite beneficial, and I'll be happy if I can achieve that. I then have some other characters of interest to flesh out my roster a little bit and to make some teams a little bit stronger. So the first one I'm looking at is Omega. Just to finish off that Bad Batch team, she can really help out. She doesn't do a lot of damage, as we all know, and what we've seen from various other videos. I know Arnold speaks very highly of Omega, but she has some nice mechanics. She's got some extra turn meter, things like that. She's not too bad. She's not high up there on my list at all, but she could be beneficial, that's for sure. The next character I'm considering is Plo Koon. Yes, you don't get a lot out of taking him to Relic from his ship, but having him at Relic makes him a bit sturdier for your Jedi Master Luke team, and it could allow me to free up Ki-Adi-Mundi for a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron team, and he could slot into the JML team, take over from Cam, and still allow you to control a Rey team and beat a Rey team quite handily. So I'm quite interested in Plo. The next I have is Sabine. Again, not much of a benefit to the ship from taking her to Relic, but it's another Relic character for a Maul Mandalorian team or a Bo-Katan Mandalorian team, and it would just allow me to have that team at full Relic. So it's not a massive gain. That's why it's in this nice to have characters of interest section. The next one I'm looking at is also Mother Talzin. I only need 2 pieces of gear to take Mother Talzin to Relic, and that would finish my Night Sister team to full Relic. This is quite low priority, as generally I'll use Zombie and Daka with SLKR to beat a Lord Vader team. So I don't often use a full Night Sister team. But it would be nice to have the option, if I start going into a JML versus Lord Vader counter, for example, it would give me another team for Grand Arena. The next character is Aura Singh, another Mandalorian, another bounty hunter on my list, which makes the 5th bounty hunter. So we can see that faction is actually becoming quite strong and quite prominent. And it's more that Aura could allow me to have another gas counter if I don't want to commit my CLS to gas or commit a GL to gas. So that's quite a nice thing to have. I'm not even sure if I need her at Relic. I would need Mando and Grief at Relic, that's for sure. But again, low priority, but something to consider. Now, the last 2 I'm considering are more as a back burner in case the ship becomes relevant or it's needed for Ravager in Sith Assassin. As I expect, if Ravager is coming, Sith Fighter is going to be 100% a requirement. And alongside that, I have an idea that maybe Nihilus's Ravager ship may require Sith Empire Trooper in some capacity, whether it's just a requirement for unlocking or if it's going to be the second crew member for the ship. Additionally, once I have Talon at Relic, having a Relic Sith Empire Trooper does make that Darth Revan team a lot more robust and a bit trickier to counter. So that's quite interesting for me. I'd be interested in getting Sith Empire Trooper at Relic 5 or 7, somewhere around there. Speaking of relics, that's going to be the next thing we're going to look at on my account here. So, as you can see from my screenshots here, I have reasonable relics, like not too bad for my GP. My GP's 8.45 mil, and I have 17 Relic 8s, 2 Relic 9s, 28 Relic 7s, and then 62 tunes at Relic 5 or above. And I have, well, not a lot, but I have some mats saved, so I can invest in some Relic levels on some characters. So I'm going to go through what characters I'm interested in relicking in 2022. The first ones I'm looking at are the Relic 9s. Now, I already have JML and Piet at Relic 9, and I think that the ones that I'm really interested in before anything else are General Kenobi and Lord Vader. So General Kenobi is going to both make the JML counter a little bit harder because, you know, he becomes a bit tankier, he has more health, more protection, more defense, etc. But the main thing is that negotiator, additional speed, becomes a real problem for people in Grand Arena to mirror, and also it's good for TW as the counters to Negotiator become a little bit more fragile when Negotiator is that little bit faster. So every bit of speed obviously helps with the capital ships. The next thing that's on my radar is Darth Nihilus, just if the Ravager ship is coming. Obviously I'm not going to do this before Ravager's announced, but I want to keep one held back in case the Ravager is announced. Even if it doesn't require Relic 9, it's likely that you'll want to Relic 9 that. Well, it's likely I'll want to Relic 9 that for the Grand Arena and TW impact it could possibly have. I won't, even if it comes out, I won't fire on that straight away until I know, though, that other people think, yes, this is a good investment, we should definitely be going in on this. And then the last two units I would be looking at Relic 9ing are Sith Eternal Emperor and Rey. Both get more health, both get more damage, both get more protection. All things that are great for their kits, especially Rey with the Whirlwind getting even more damage because it now scales with Relic levels. And obviously she gets more health, which is very synergistic with her kit. So I think both of these two GLs are potentially good investments for my account for Relic 9s. SLKR and JMK much higher down on my Relic 9 consideration list. For Relic 8s, there's a host of characters I'm looking to take up to Relic 8 this year. The first will be Boba, Scion of Jango, as I will be relicating him the day he comes out in, what's that, about 8-9 days from now. Then the next tune I'm likely to look at after that will be Starkiller. I may do some between Boba and Starkiller. It depends on my mats. but Starkiller is one I would likely relicate as well. He's going to be a strong Grand Arena toon, so that should be a sound investment. I'm also looking at Malevolence to relicate. A bit of extra speed, a bit of extra damage. Should make the Executor counter maybe a little more stable, and that's something I want to do. My win rate now is looking at somewhere around 75-80% with Executor. If I could, versus Executor, if I can get that to 90% with GG, I'd be very happy. And if Relicate lets me do that, I'd be happy to do that. The next thing I'm looking at is Dark Trooper. I have Dark Trooper at Relic 7 already, but with the inclusion of Talon in the Darth Revan team, and that more people are investing in Sith Empire Trooper because of the Talon, especially at higher Relic levels, I'm going to need more oomph for my Dark Trooper to punch through those tanky Sith Empire Troopers. So I think the extra offense from taking him to Relicate is going to be very important for that. So I'm really strongly considering it. Then I'm also looking at, as the last Relicates that are really prominent to me, is Han and Chewbacca. Bit more damage, bit more tankiness, but really that extra damage you get from Relicate is very nice on these two units. It's going to make my counters to gas more stable. It's going to make them deal with GG Nuke easier. It's going to make them deal with Momo a little easier. Not teams they necessarily have a lot of problems with, but it's just going to add that little bit extra, well, reduce a bit more RNG or a bit more percentage chance of losing to just shore those counters up. Also, it's a nice little boost for the Millennium Falcon, which I often use in Fleet and Grand Arena and TW as well. So a bit of extra oomph there is often, well, should be great. The last characters I'm going to look at are characters I want to Relic 7. As I've alluded to earlier, the first one I'm going to Relic 7 will be Fennec Shand when I unlock her in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I think that's a real solid investment. She deals considerable damage, so the higher the relic level, the better, obviously. I'm also then looking at taking CLS and Backpack Chewie to Relic 7, just for those extra stats. Like you make CLS a bit tankier, and you give him more offense, and that then gets shared with the rest of the team, so they all hit harder, and they all are a bit tankier. So again, that's just going to reduce my chances of losing in any fight where I'm going to be using this team just that little bit more. So that's good for me. I'd be happy to do that. I'm also looking at taking Spy from Relic 5 to Relic 7. And this is, again, to try and up my win percentage with my Malevolence versus Executor counter. I'm not too bothered about the impact this is going to have in a Grand Arena for normal teams, because I don't really use Geos very often. But it's really for that impact the ship can have. And the last one on my list here is Sith Empire Trooper. Potentially for Ravager, but mainly for the Darth Revan with Talon team, just to make it a bit more robust and a bit more difficult for those Imperial Trooper teams to try and run through. They may still beat it, that's fine, but if it makes it a bit trickier, if it snipes a couple more banners, I'm quite happy with that. The last thing I wanted to talk about with my roster is the situation with my mods. So as we can see here, I have 431 6 dots, 28 plus 25s, 75 plus 20s, 251 plus 15s, and then whatever. I have saved up quite a lot of materials because I wanted to make a video of me upgrading my mods just to show whether it's good or bad. But I have about 11 slices from 5 to 6 dot, and I should have about 750 or more of the 6E slices, so that's 75 6E slices once Conquest finishes. So I'm going to be doing some heavy slicing in the near future, and hopefully if RNG is good, I'm going to try and get my plus 20s to go from 75 to 95 to 100, and hopefully get my plus 25s to 35 to 40 maybe. But I'm going to do that all on stream and make a video about it, and well, either you're all going to be really annoyed at how lucky I got, or you're all going to be laughing at how I drained all of my resources and got nothing. So it should be fun for some people at least. So thanks for tuning in and listening to me ramble on about how I'm looking at progressing my account and what I'm focusing on and what to me is important for progressing a roster at my level in 2022. Hopefully you found it interesting, and hopefully you tuning to watch me delete all of my mod materials and get absolutely shafted by CG, because I'm looking forward to it. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe, and tune in for more videos to come. See you soon. Bye.